And Jefferson, in the world of weather, we have finally made it to hopefully that day full of sunshine. I know we've been lingering around with those clouds, and we were expecting more sunshine today. Is that going to be in the cards?
Well, we might see some sunshine, but there are still going to be a fair amount of clouds. The sunny day is really going to be arriving as we head into Sunday. Now, as we take a look outside at the Tri-Cities right now, there's really not a whole lot that we are going to be discussing for today. It is going to be a calm day of weather with fluctuations in cloud cover. I know that farther to the east towards Walla Walla, we are still looking at a few rain showers right now, and we have been looking at some rain showers through the overnight hours that even pass through the Tri-Cities. But we are done with all shower activity right now for the Tri-Cities. We will be done with the shower activity for really the remainder of the day. It's 50 degrees right now, so a fairly mild to warm morning. Here's a look at your weather headlines today and going forward. A mixture of clouds and sunshine on this Friday, as I've already referenced. Tomorrow will feature a slight chance of isolated showers, but the biggest headline on Saturday will be the presence of very strong winds, and then a calmer stretch of weather is going to begin on Sunday. We'll talk more about all three of these weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Sunnyside. A volunteer youth pastor is now in jail facing multiple child sex charges. So far, law enforcement officers haven't released the man's name, but say he's 32 years old and is a youth group leader in a Lower Valley church. Yakima County Sheriff's deputies say the alleged teenage victim told adults about the sex offenses and they reported them. The man was arrested at his home, and deputies say he admitted to them that the teen had been at his house several times, but denied abusing that teen. The man now faces 6 counts of rape of a child, 2 counts of child molestation, and 1 count of communication with a minor for immoral purposes. And in some court news, Benton and Franklin County Superior Court proceedings will not be streamed online for the time being because someone interrupted those court proceedings during a hearing. Court administrators emphasized this was not a hack. Someone who joined decided to use their own device to broadcast reportedly offensive material, and the stream will shut down as a result. Court continued after a brief interruption. We're told IT personnel are working on a solution to make WebEx more secure, but in the meantime, all court proceedings will be in person. Switching gears this morning, Yakima City Manager Vicki Baker is hosting 2 more town hall meetings to discuss the city's current general fund budget challenges. If you missed last night's meeting, there is another meeting next Wednesday in the Kiva at Davis High School at 6:30 p.m.
So we're trying to get people to give us an idea of what their top priorities are in that city's general fund, because that information can help inform council decisions if and when some of those really difficult decisions may need to be made.
Now, if you can't make it to any of the town halls, there is a survey you can fill out so that the city still gets your feedback. For more information on how to take the survey, head over to our website, kimatv.com. While most of the tariffs have been put on hold, manufacturers here in Washington are still dealing with the chaos surrounding the on-again, off-again nature of news coming out of the White House. Although double-digit tariffs on dozens of nations have been put on hold, the baseline 10% tax on imports from all countries remain. A wide variety of products are manufactured in Washington. However, many of the components come from around the world. The tariffs are making things much more complicated.
We have machinery companies that are having serious competition in their exports from Europe, for example, because their costs have gone up and retaliatory tariffs are hurting. So we have a lot of members that are challenged.
We need to put some medicine, into the, global trade system, because we need to make sure that the United States is as healthy as possible with global trade. Some of these trade and tariffs, more poison than they are medicine.
Now, businesses are now exploring new sources for materials that bypass nations with high tariffs, but the fear remains. A solution could also involve layoffs and ultimately passing on higher costs to customers. And another switching of the gears here. A former Major League Baseball manager is in Yakima. Clint Hurdle of the Colorado Rockies and Pittsburgh Pirates was the keynote speaker during last night's Merrill Scott Symposium. KIME's Mallory Aldrich caught up with him before the event and shares his story.
No, drink is not an option.
Former MLB manager for the Rockies and Pirates, Clint Hurdle, has worked to stay sober for 26 years. And although it might be hard for others, his advice is it is sometimes good to hear and see someone that has gone through the same thing and worked through it.
But I'm living proof that some pretty amazing things can happen if you just put yourself in a different place than the one you've been in, and it comes with one step in a different direction, followed by another step. and you do it one day at a time. And it sounds simple, but it's not easy, but it's so worth it.
Although there are many misconceptions about sobriety, including stereotypes.
Biggest one is I think people would drop the term when they're weak. You know, they have no willpower. It's so much deeper and bigger than that because most people don't understand it as a disease.
Hurdle also explained that addiction doesn't always come in one form.
I would say the addictions I have that I've worked through on the other side of it have not been as cataclysmic as the alcohol was, but they are still enough to pay attention to.
And the advice he has for others struggling to get sober is to first ask for help.
I never would have had any opportunities at that if I didn't get sober first. So my challenge to them is you don't know what great things are out there for you unless you give yourself a chance and put yourself in a position to walk towards them.
KIMA's Mallory Aldrich, thank you. And this week is the final week of White Pass Ski Area being open for 7 days a week. Until the end of April, Ski White Pass will only be open on weekends. Now this season, they celebrated the 40th anniversary of having snowboarding on the mountain, rather. They'll also be retiring one of their chairlifts that's been in service for 41 years. That's chair number 4.
We're getting visitors from, farther reaches. We're starting to get some more Seattle traffic and more Portland traffic and people coming from places that are within the vicinity but have areas closer to them. And so we're in the process of trying to maintain our current kind of low-key family feel, but also just meet the demand of the new market.
Now this weekend there will be a pond skim event where skiers and snowboarders will try to skim across the water without falling into the pond. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan. Jefferson, as we head on in through the day today, we're still seeing temperatures, around average, and we're seeing that mix of clouds and sun, too, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit above average on these high temperatures still, and we are going to be looking at that variance of clouds and sunshine depending on where you live. In the Tri-Cities, I believe more in the way of partly cloudy skies will be seen today, mostly sunny skies for Yakima as well as Ellensburg, and then for Walla Walla and Pendleton, clouds will hold on through the day. High temperatures, as you can see on your screen, will be climbing into the upper 50s to mid 60s. Now, as we go into the weekend, the weather will be fairly pleasant, especially on Sunday, but tomorrow could be rather windy. We will talk forecast peak wind gusts on Saturday coming up.